But my beats, they are hard.
Hello, good evening. Excuse me. Hey, welcome to the BCSN SportsWrap. We made it. We're here. Brian Fulford and A.D. Drew, as I'm scrambling to get home from a obligation that I had going on this afternoon. Drew, how you doing tonight?
Man, doing all right, man. Been on the road the last couple of days. Great to be back at home and great to be on winter break, my brother. We can't call it Christmas break. Got to be PC about it, so we're going to call it winter break.
Exactly. Shout out to all the educators, the college administrators, the college folk, the high school folk, the middle school folk, the elementary folk, the charter school,
JUCO,
private JUCO,
community college,
prep. Any of you are educators, shout out to all the educators that are off for the next 2, maybe 3 weeks. Shout out to y'all, man. Enjoy this time. Enjoy this relaxing time, man. We finally got some time off. Good Lord.
And Brian,
yo,
don't call me. Don't text me. Don't even email me if it's got anything to do with my 9 to 5.
Hey, the only people who don't have off these next 2 weeks is us basketball coaches. Because guess what basketball coaches are doing this time of the year because of the calendar.
It's that time of season. You got to keep playing, man. You got if you ain't coaching, you're practicing.
No days off. That's right. So yes, if you're a basketball coach, you got to find time in this crazy holiday break, man. But here's the big dilemma, Drew.
And then shout out to the wrestling and the swimming coaches too, who also have the same obligations during this time of the year.
Okay, good point. Here's the biggest dilemma I have as an educator, right? I had finals ended up Friday. So of course I got finals to grade. Now, fortunately, I don't have to submit grades until like the second day of the new year. So my dilemma, Drew, is do I sit on these grades or do I go ahead and find some time in the maybe early part of this week and get the grading and all of it done? And then I got to start with lesson plans sometime for the first couple of weeks of the school year. Help me out.
Bruh, get the grades done. And then that day you was talking about doing grades, that's when you start doing your lesson plans in January. Get them See, the grades done is completion. You have completed all of your obligations. Cut them off. Don't begin your new obligations until later. But everything that you got to get done, go ahead and finish that off. Then take a break. Take a mental rest break.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate the advice on that. That's what I had going on, and so that's what I'll start preparing myself for. All right, coming up on today's show, we are going to get close to putting a bow on the end of the 2024 calendar year. So we got coaching hires. We've got two really exciting coaching hires.
No more fires?
You mean coaches being fired?
Yeah, I think we're done with the
I think we're done there.
Fire is such a harsh word. Non-renewal of contract.
Yeah. Now, granted, we still wait to see how this. We're going to talk about that here in a second, because we're still waiting to see what happens with a few coaching positions. But we'll talk about that. We're going to put out the nominees for our Coach of the Year on the Division I and non-Division I level. Our nominees for Division I Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. Our nominees for the non-D1 Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year. And also our HBCU Football Upsets of the Year. Yeah. So all of that in a nice little bundle of a 2-hour show. Oh, Drew, guess what I also forgot? Our final top 5, BCSN top 5 of the year. And we're going to also take a look at the bottom 5 programs. I mean, there are some dregs in the HBCU FCS diaspora. If you caught Dr. Ville's show from, I think it was Tuesday or Thursday, he displayed his Thursday. He displayed the top 21.
With all 21.
All 21, thank you. All 21. And the three tiers, right? Your bottom tier, your middle tier, and your upper tier. Upper tier consisting of your top 7 teams. I got some interest. As I'm watching the show, shout out to you, Doc. I think that was Charles, the guys on Thursday's show. Oh boy, I got all kinds of interesting thoughts regarding the bottom 5. And I think our BCSN bottom 5, what you said, we have the same
5 different order.
Okay, same 5, different order. All right. So definitely want to say hello to everybody joining us on YouTube at MyJBN Online. Thank you for joining us. Hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would. Thank you for being a part of our show. Thank you to all of you who are JBN subscribers. We appreciate you, subscribing, being a part of this. Of course, following us on wherever you're following it at. Hello to everybody watching on X and Instagram Live. We say hello to you. We want you to be a part of this. I know you can send chats on X, and I promise if you send a chat on Instagram Live, I will take a note of it. Like I see Q787 and Stan Goss 142 who joined us on Instagram Live. I say hello to you. That way, see, I'm going to check that every now and then. I don't always do that. But all right, Drew, let's start with some of the coaching news, because I think that was the big story over the past 24, 48 hours. Wouldn't you say?
I would say, yeah, the fact that Tremaine Jackson won a championship where he made it to the Division II finals and then announced at his press conference that he was the new head coach at Prairie View A&M. I think that is the biggest story of the week, Brian.
Now, did he do so? I saw a video clip. So hold on. I'm confused about the timing on all of this. So, we like Coach Tremaine, friend of the program. I want to let me see if I can find it. I liked it, so I got to make sure I can find this, because I thought it was interesting, the timing of all of it.
Sidebar, Brian, we got a personal invitation from Lennon Blow.
Well, hey, look, Lennon, thank you, man. Look, my father, my late mother, they're Norfolk State alums. I would love to make an appearance at Norfolk State homecoming. I got cousins and family. Look, Lennon, let me know what the date is. I will be there. I will be in the house. I will make a commitment. The Fulford family, we will be there. Let me see who else. The other half of let me see. I got some Matthews. So I got all kinds of family from Norfolk State. So I'll be in the house. You just let me know when that date is. All right. So Coach Jackson, right? Okay. So this. Okay. So I seen the video that you're talking about. Okay. Let me see. 6:51 p.m. Now that game, what time was the game? The game was what time?
Get 1 o'clock. Started at 1 o'clock.
Game. Yeah.
No. Let me think. We played at 2 o'clock Central Time. Game started at 2 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Valdosta State versus Ferris State. Ferris State always seems like they're in the championship game of Division II National Championship. Valdosta ended up losing that game. What was it, 49-14, something like that?
They got blew out.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They got blown out how they've been blowing everybody out all year.
Yeah. So I could have sworn I saw the video that said, okay, of Coach Jackson. I think this was before the game. The video I saw, I think it was before the game, in the way it sounded. Can you confirm that? Was it before or after the game?
I cannot, because I was busy getting ready to do play-by-play for our basketball game. And I don't know if you paid attention in our group text that I had texted towards the end of the game, what happened, what did Valdosta State do? Because when I turned it off, they were down, was it 14-0, I think? They were down 14-0 when I turned it off. To start doing my final prep for the game, and obviously I did not have time to turn it back on my iPad.
I found it.
Okay. And then, so after I got on got broken down and gotten on the bus, then I decided to go on X, since none of y'all decided to respond to me and tell me what happened in the game. I'm just saying, it's only about 15 of us in their chat group, and nobody. When I tell y'all nobody responded to their chat asking what happened in the game. So as I start going on X, the first tweet that I saw was from Valdosta State saying thank you.
Right. Okay, I found it. I found the video clip. Okay. So let me share I'm gonna share the screen. This is the video clip of Coach Jackson. Here, this is the press. I gotta believe now. You listen to this and you tell me if you think this was before or after the game. Hopefully, this audio plays.
I just told those guys I've coached my last game at Valdosta State. I'm no longer going to be the coach at Valdosta State after today. I've accepted another opportunity, and so those guys were able to form a collective and get to McKinney, Texas. I just told those guys I've coached my last game at Valdosta State. I'm no longer.
You heard all that, right?
Right.
I've accepted another.
I'm going to answer your question for you, Brian.
Guys were able to form a collective and get to McKinney, Texas.
Okay, so that comes from. Let me give it credit, because that little clip came from HBCU Premier Sports and more at HBCU Sports 1. So that was the clip that they posted. Okay, when did that happen, Drew?
They have a post game.
That was post game, huh?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why, Brian.
Okay. And I also have his comments that he made on Twitter, but go ahead.
Have you ever known a coach to do a press conference before a game?
Yes, it happens.
Let me rephrase, a sit down press conference.
Yes, it happens.
Day of the game?
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but they do these interviews before the games on TV. There are press conferences that happen before games.
But you know what the coach is doing during that, Brian, during that interview? 9 times out of 10, he's standing. He's on the move. He's got 2 minutes to ask a question from the media partner, to answer a question from the media partner. This was a sit down after the game press conference, Brian.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so from his Twitter account at Coach Jack 212 at 6:51 p.m. This is from Coach Tremaine Jackson. While today's outcome wasn't what I wanted, I am incredibly proud of this team and all that was accomplished this year at Valdosta State. When we took over in 2022, we knew it was going to be a challenge, but we embraced it. My goal was to leave this place better than we found it. For us, it's been about changing lives through the game of football, and I can confidently say we achieved that. I asked the VSU administration weeks ago to secure a long-term plan for success for our program, and we could not reach an agreement on what that would look like. That being said, we've accepted another coaching opportunity that we couldn't pass up. I appreciate so many people who believed in us along the way, but it started with former Director of Athletics Herb Reinhardt. He coached me for 2 years and is still coaching me. He showed me so much that I thought I knew, but I didn't know. I am forever grateful to him for taking a chance on me and for allowing me to grow as a head coach. Valdosta State will be back here in the national championship game, and I look forward to cheering them on. As always, go Blazers. That was at 6:51, and I believe by about 7 o'clock, you had seen the post from Prairie View A&M, which was, what time was that Prairie View post? Prairie View posted that at, come on, Prairie View. Where's that tweet at? Anyway, I think they posted it around 7 o'clock. It was about 7 o'clock when that came out.
All right.
Okay. So, well, worst kept secret. I saw somebody posted that worst kept secret. Definitely.
Now, M4 said that's it's an eye roller.
We knew, right?
Yeah, but M4, Prairie View got their man. That is the man that Prairie View wanted.
Yes.
Inside of the HBCU media sphere, we've known this move was coming for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
It was just a matter of when does Valdosta State play their final game. So, yeah, this is who they wanted. They targeted them. I think there was a realistic list of one. They had to go through their customary interviews, but Tremaine Jackson was at the top of the list.
Right.
Prairie View wants to lose. Why do we think Prairie View is going to lose by hiring Tremaine Jackson? Did y'all not see what this man just did?
Look, have we not seen this?
And hold up. This is a blue blood Division II program. He's had experience at the Division I level. And Bryan, what is tougher, to build a program or to sustain a top program?
I think it's sustained. James Colsey. I think it's sustained.
I agree with you. I think it's tougher to sustain.
Taylor. I say ask DC Taylor. It's hard to sustain success when you come in following a championship season or two.
Exactly. And he is from the Houston area. Went to the other school in the Houston area, that being Texas Southern. Played at Texas Southern after playing briefly for a non-HBCU. He finished his career at Texas Southern, has done his coaching stint, has over a decade of coaching experience, has been a head coach. Did y'all want a celebrity hire at Prairie View? I mean, is that why this is a bad hire?
7:46 p.m. is when Prairie View tweeted out Tremaine Jackson as the head coach. He will be on the Hill on January 1, 2025. More information on the press conference will be forthcoming. So I'm hearing the press conference will actually be kind of the first Monday of the new year, the 26th. But I'm amazed hearing that there are people out there who think this is a bad hire. I couldn't disagree more. The man just took what he did the last 2 years at Valdosta State. If you're going to bring somebody from one level up, you want somebody who's done it at a high, super high level. For 2 consecutive seasons, he did it at Valdosta State at a super high level.
And Lawrence just hit it on the nail. As much as we love Chennis Berry, And this is the same type of hire that Chemmons-Berry was.
Yep.
Tremaine had success in the postseason compared to Chemmons-Berry, who is 0-3 in the postseason on 2 levels.
Preach.
And that's no shot. That's no shot to Chemmons-Berry.
Right. Good point, Lawrence. Good point. Good point. So, yeah, miss me with that. Prairie View got their guy. Prairie View it'll be interesting to watch. And here's the thing. Of all the head coaching jobs that were out there, Drew, and remember, here's the list going into, I think, last week's show. It was Prairie View, Alabama A&M, Norfolk State, Del State, Valley, and A&T. That was the list going into last week, right? Of course, 3 of those have already been filled. But of all of them, I kept asking people, what's the better job? And people that I kept asking kept saying Prairie View was the better of the best jobs of the 6 that were available on the FCS level because of the facilities, the athletic budget, you know, and I think the recruiting area that you're in. You're in a recruit-rich state of Texas, fertilized. Yes. Yeah. So among those 3 things, Prairie View made a good hire, and I think Prairie View is going to be. It'll be interesting to watch and see how they challenge in the West, and that's what's going to be interesting to watch.
And honestly, I think Jack owes a lot of this to Chemmons-Berry. Because of the success Chemmons-Berry had at Benedict and was able to have that type of success at South Carolina State. I think that paved the way for another school to take a chance on a Division II coach. Here's the big difference, though, Brian. Chemmons-Berry was able to bring a lot of his players with him. Don't know if all of them players going to leave from Valdosta, Georgia and move to Prairie View, Texas.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch, right? I mean,
here's the big key, Brian, and I hate to say it. Some of their skill players don't look like us. A lot of their linemen don't look like us.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting to note. Okay.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know. You know,
and what's also going to be interesting is the coaching staff, because once again, where at the HBCU level, a majority of the coaches look like us, with a sprinkle of vanilla. At Valdosta State, it is the exact opposite. Even though you have an first African American head coach, not only at Valdosta State, but in the Gulf South Conference. So y'all got to give that man his credit.
Right. Oh, and how about real quick, last thing on Tremaine. Black Coaches Association. It's good to know your history. They caught it.
Please get into this one.
Oh my God. So
they butchered this one so bad.
Man, they sent out a tweet at 6:15 Saturday night, right? The tweet says, or the post says, if we don't support in keywords our own, who will? Quote, no Black head coach has ever won a college football national championship, unquote. But we have 2 Black head coaches competing in the Division II and NAIA football national championship games. Good luck to Valdosta State head coach Tremaine Jackson, and in the NCAA D2 national championship game. Good luck to Kaiser's head coach Miles Russ in the NAIA football championship. Both games are played Saturday the 21st. Now, this was Friday. Friday night is when they tweeted this out, right? Oh, yeah. They got roasted.
HBCU Twitter went off.
Yes, because they had to come back. Let me see. They came back the next afternoon with a tweet saying, thanks to everybody who responded. National champions, Rudy Hubbard, 78, of course, Division I AA FCS champions. Billy Joe, Central State, 1990 and 92 NAIA Division I champions. And Rick Comagee, Central State, 1995 NAIA Division I champion. So, yeah, you might have forgot that there have been 3 coaches that have won national championships before Tremaine Jackson had an opportunity. I don't know. Did Miles Russ win? Did the Kaiser win? Yeah, I don't know if Kaiser. I mean, I'm not really paying attention to Kaiser football, but that's down there in the Sun Conference where that's where who plays in that team? No, Kaiser ended up losing. They lost in the championship. So I just did a quick peek. They lost. So, well, there goes that. But yeah, okay. So, what Doc say? Whiteness as the standard will get you embarrassed every time. Yeah, I'm very surprised as well, Zach. A lot of people are skeptical about the hire. Ridiculous. All right. What is that? What did EA say? What is this? Everyone continues to talk about facilities, budget in the HBCUs, and those schools never win in the big. Well, I don't know how to respond to that. It is, but put it like this: if I get the point. I guess there's no correlation, but I think there is a correlation. I don't know. It doesn't. I think you'd rather put it like this: you would rather have the facilities and have the structure than not have it. And I think if you can put it like this, I think you can sustain success when you have the structure, when you have the facilities, when you have the finances. I don't know if there's a correlation.
All I'm gonna say is congratulations on Prairie View for not being afraid to go outside of the box and to reach down and pull a Division II coach up to the FCS level.
Right. All right. Let's take a quick break because I want to talk about another program that's not afraid to go out of the box. Got folks. Another coaching hire that's got folks riled up.
Which one is more controversial, Brian?
Ooh.
Answer that after the break.
Yeah. Ooh, great tease. Which one is more controversial? All right. We'll talk about that and more coming up on the other side of the break. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. Drew, I don't know. Do we have new bumpers or these the same ads as before?
We're going to find out the hard way on.
We're going to find out the hard way. All right. Hang tight. If you see anything talking about the Celebration Bowl, just be like, you damn updated.
Blame the executive producer.
Exactly.
And that's neither one of us.
We'll take the hit on that one. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Well, Brian, that ad block was successful. The transform. I guess we're gonna find out about the other ones later.
The executive producer's in the chat. He did that. Hey, shout out to the EP, the boss man himself. RM.
Appreciate for the reset, boss man.
Yeah, appreciate the reset, boss. Appreciate you. Okay, so
Brian. Before we get into this segment, I gotta put this comment up, Brian.
Go ahead.
I gotta say something about this. Keep it up, fam. You sipping the eggnog a little bit too early, my brother. Wait till Wednesday, at least Tuesday night, to start on the eggnog, bro.
Look, here's the problem with the Ed Reed thing, y'all. Ed Reed had his shot. But Ed Reed couldn't stay off the damn social media. I don't know how you look past that.
Don't hit send.
How do you look past what happened? He didn't just have one social media snafu. He had like 3 of them. Like, I don't know how you look. You can't get past that. You really can't. He done. Let me stop. I almost said something. But I don't know how you get past that. Y'all who keep staying in this Ed Reed, give Ed Reed a shot. Every time you come up with Ed Reed, somebody's gonna pull up the video of him driving around in the cart. You're gonna pull up the video of him in the meeting room talking to parents. What was the other one he did? He did like 3 of them. Didn't he do like 3 different social media videos? Come on, man. I don't know how you get past that. I don't know how do you convince me that won't be our school that gets embarrassed like that? I don't know how you do it. Y'all better than me. You tell me how. I think sadly that's a worse resume than a guy trying to sort of, I don't know, maybe redeem his image, or a guy who's stepping into a role that he's never really stepped into before as a coach. I don't know. So, yeah. Any others, Drew?
Sonic Boom, he likes the Jackson hire. He takes a shot at his former coach. We're going to leave that one right. We're going to leave that one right there.
No recycled coaches here. No recycled coaches here.
I don't think it was about the recycle. I think it was who was the recyclee.
Oh, is that what it is?
Ed says hiring coaches at a lower level is, I think he means hiring coaches from a lower level is standard practice. I don't see how people are upset. P4s and G5s do it every year. You are exactly right, Ed. Thanks for the shout out. Sharpshooters podcast. Let's see what else we got on that. I think we need some more experienced coaches who will put a few young, hungry coaches on the staff like TC did. There's another one. EA. See, here's the problem I have with this one, Brian. Bama State doesn't win in football, but they win in everything else.
Everything else, yes.
Bama, go look at the Commissioner's Cup.
Oh, how many times? How many times they continue to win that thing?
And if they're not winning it, guess who's winning it? It's Prairie View.
Uh-huh.
And then you go over to the BAC side, Norfolk. Oh my God! Have you seen the NCAA basketball tournament, men or women, lately?
Yeah.
So don't say that. See, we equate winning with football, maybe because we just came out of football. Southern's been on the cusp also. Southern dominated baseball in the SWAC for years. It was Southern and everybody else. So just because the football team does not win does not mean that their program is not winning. Let's see. Last one. Lennon, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah. Hey, look. Speaking of hot topics, we'll say that
we come back to the BAC portion of it.
When we get to the BAC portion,
it will not include any comments about Morehouse. We'll just leave it at that.
Yes. You cannot. Yes, you're not gonna bait Drew into anything. So don't even try, y'all. Don't
not
even
if
try.
I want my once a month.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, as I said, let me hold on. I got another share screen here. I'm figuring out how to operate the share screen quite nicely here, Drew. Well, here we go. Well, it is now official. Put the rumors to bed. Norfolk State University. Hold on. First off, I'm going to give props to my parents' alma mater. I love what they've been coming out, serving notice to the media and everybody else. So this is the press. This is the statement that came out Friday afternoon. Norfolk State University, the largest historically Black college and university in Virginia. Take that. Has called on a Hampton Roads legend to lead the Norfolk State football program. Following unanimous approval by the Board of Visitors on Friday afternoon, NSU Director of Athletics Dr. Melody Webb announced that Michael Vick, a four-time Pro Bowl selection and former #1 overall NFL draft pick, has been named Norfolk State University's 19th head football coach. Quote, "Today marks a historic day for Norfolk State University," Webb said. "I am thrilled to welcome Michael Vick and his family back to the Hampton Roads area to lead our football program, one of the greatest athletes the region has ever seen. Coach Vick's leadership, knowledge, and dedication will pour into the fundamental layers of the foundation we hope to build for Norfolk State football." And I believe there was a statement from Vick. He said, "I am blessed and humbled by this opportunity to lead, mentor, and transform the football program at Norfolk State University, a prestigious HBCU with a rich athletics history. NSU provides a tremendous environment for students to reach their full potential on the field and, just as importantly, in the classroom. I am honored to join the Norfolk State family and welcome your support as we embark on the journey together. Behold the green and gold." Well, Lennon, you excited? You excited? Drew, are you excited?
I'm as excited for this hire as I was for the Coach Prime hire. Am I one of those people who, because he played in the league, have the questions about whether he can coach? Of course I do. Of course I do. Am I one of those people who are a little upset that he didn't pay his dues and go out and coach at some level, getting some experience as a coach? Yeah, as a former coach, yeah, I have to feel some type of way about it. But once I get past that, Brian, this is going to be an interesting hire. You got a splash name, a local splash name, coming back home to restore a program, and with him being from the Rhodes area, I guarantee you he grew up knowing about Norfolk State. So, and somebody I heard on the podcast, I don't remember which one it was saying Mike Vick doesn't have any type of championship experience as a player, let alone as a coach. I guess you forget about what was it, 2000? What title game was that they lost to Florida State?
2000 or 2001, Sugar Bowl, I think it was.
Yeah, when they lost to Florida State, Yeah. What about the playoff wins that he had? I just remember the touchdown run against Minnesota.
Ooh.
in overtime.
Highlight stays in my head. That highlight
was that 47-yard touchdown run against Minnesota. So
went to Green Bay and got a win, right? Went to Green Bay and got a win, if I'm not mistaken, in his first playoff appearance, if I'm not mistaken.
So, yes. First time Green Bay had lost at home. It was something significant about that win. I just don't remember what it is at this point in time. But yeah, I'm excited for the hire. Does Michael Vick resonate with this generation as he did with our generation? And one last thing, just something to throw out there. My cousin was on Atlanta Falcons with him the year he got drafted by the Falcons, and was a receiver. What? My cousin was one of his receivers. The Falcons the first year he was with the Falcons.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Trevor Gaylor from Ohio State.
Okay. All right. Hey, Mama, how you doing? Yeah. Good to see you. Hey. So what I find interesting is Norfolk State has a reason to be excited, that community, the Hampton Roads area. At a time when apathy has set in for Hampton University fans, and we're not even going to talk about the NCAA news that dropped on Hampton, right? But
I didn't know they still did that in your hometown, Brian.
Look, I didn't even know. Look, the NCAA dropped a hammer on Hampton for some violations, and that was what I tweeted back when that got posted in our group chat. I was like, oh, the NCAA still penalize people. I didn't know they were still in that business anymore. But Norfolk State has won. They've had 2 winning seasons in 20 years. Let me let that sink in for a second, folks. Winning season. What qualifies as winning season, Drew? Plus 500. I'm not talking a 500. I mean plus 500. Those 2 years they went 6-5. I think that was Dawson. No, was that the year before Dawson Odoms took over, or 2 years before him? It was 2020, I think, or 2019. It was either 19 or 21 that they went 6-5. And then the other time was back in 2012 or 13. All I know is it's been 2 winning seasons in 20 years. I mean, they've tried it every other way. Why not do this? Yes, 2 wins in 20 years, 2 successful seasons. So,
hey, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't that first season get taken away by the same NCAA that dropped the hammer down on them?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. I know it's in their website. It's on their website.
They have been Division I. The one title that I think they won in the BAC was vacated.
Sonic Boom said he think it was 2 years before in the year they had to vacate. So yeah, the 20. So needless to say, that fan base is, and here's the crazy thing, Drew. Remember what Norfolk State drew at homecoming? In the midst of this season that really was kind of meh, and you kind of I heard the rumblings at the beginning of the year that Dawson Odoms might be out. We heard that at the beginning of the year, okay? They still drew their second largest crowd ever at Dick Price Stadium for homecoming. That stadium holds 30-something thousand. They had a damn near capacity for homecoming. I forgot who they played at homecoming, but
it was a MEAC
game, yes.
Yeah.
But you had a capacity crowd for homecoming. So and the only other time they had a bigger crowd was when the stadium first opened in 97, I think it was. So we're talking 25-something years, and you've only had 2 games where you had 30,000 plus. That's sad, but it tells you how that stadium is starving. That fan base, that community is starving. And if nobody's going to go see Hampton games because they're playing people out of the CAA, hey, come on over to Norfolk State. Come on over to Norfolk State where we play our old school rivals at Virginia State, Virginia Union. We play Hampton.
What is about 30-minute drive between the two?
Yeah, we got other HBCUs that we play. Anything that you're missing from going to Hampton games, come on over to Norfolk State. Sits right off the interstate. It's a beautiful stadium, beautiful campus. I'm telling you, I think, and if what I've heard that season tickets, people, if they haven't started the season ticket packages, I know they should be starting them up coming here in January. There's a lot of reason to be excited about what's happening at Norfolk State. So I miss me on the controversial stuff. I know we've seen some stuff from PETA, and I know coaches, are in their feelings about not paying the dues. But I mean, what else is Norfolk State supposed to do? I think it's a good hire, great hire.
Now, here's the other thing. Once again, just like we congratulated Prairie View for thinking outside the box, and not recycling a coach and going and getting a coach from the Division II level, let's give Norfolk their credit for thinking outside the box and going and getting not only an NFL hire, but an NFL hire who is from the area, who actually has ties to the area. While he may not have attended an HBCU, once again, Mike Vick knows all about Norfolk State, knows all about Hampton, Virginia State, Virginia Union, because he grew up in that area. Now, the only thing that would have been really outside the box with this one, Brian, if they would have hired Allen Iverson. And while y'all sleeping on Allen Iverson was a hell of a football player.
Stop it. Yeah, I'm Bubba Chuck. And EA, I say we because I got Spartan blood in me. EA. So I'm gonna own them. I'm gonna own it. We're gonna see Brian go enroll online for grad school at Norfolk now, y'all. Hey, look, my mama and my dad, like I'm not here if it wasn't for Norfolk State University. So I have to give them respect and love because there's no me without Norfolk State University introducing my daddy to my mama. So I'm just gonna keep it 100. All right. So we'll have some more. Apparently, press conference will be coming next week or probably the 1st of January. I don't know. I saw Lennon in the Post. He said something about a Monday presser. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or what's going on, but we'll find out. But also this week, another coaching hire. And we talk about, we mentioned it last week, but they had the official press conference for Sean Gibbs at North Carolina A&T on Wednesday. You talk about alums being excited. So I've heard everything from the amount of money that, and I heard this on Timona's show when she was interviewing, talking to Mr. Ford. So shout out to Timona and Mr. Ford. They were talking about some of the money that went into paying off the previous head coach, allegedly paying off or getting rid of or filling the contract. Let me see. I don't know how to clean that up right. There's about 3 years left on the deal, right? So they had to come up with some significant money to get rid of the coach, which is what happens, right? Isn't that what alumni usually do? That you want to make a change, you go to the AD and say, "Look, AD, we've crowdsourced $1 million or whatever the contract terms are to get rid of this coach. Let's make that happen. Make it happen." And I think it did. They made it happen. They moved the coach out, and less than 48 hours later, they had a new coach in place. Apparently caught Fort Valley State off guard. I don't know how, but it did. Like, I don't know what they were thinking about. Like,
caught them with their pants down on the toilet on that one. Don't know how it happened.
Don't know how. You should have smelled the stench in the room, but somehow you didn't pick up on that, Fort Valley State. They seemed to be surprised by the move. But anyway, but you got former All-Americans coming out the woodworks, making donations, making money, donating money. You got the coach talking about they're gonna make chicken at A&T. I don't know if it's Popeyes, KFC, or churches, but you know, they making chicken at North Carolina A&T, boy. I don't know what they got going on over there. But they trying to get back to the top. You know, again, it wasn't that long ago that A&T was the premier program. They were the before
Jackson State.
Yeah. Hey, why is my picture there?
Because I'm on your program.
I'm like, wait a minute. What happened to me? How did
Threw you off that rough.
It did just a little. I'm like, why? I'm looking at me. That's crazy. Yeah. But no, I mean, guys came up with some money. They came up with some money. They're reinvesting in the program. And now, on the heels of that, Drew, the latest rumors, which I will say I started hearing at the end of the Celebration Bowl, is that there may be a potential move in a year to 2 years that A&T might be looking to move back into the MEAC.
June 30th, let's start the countdown. Because enough said, Dr. Kabir.
Hey, the jokes, the jokes are going to, I'm telling you now, the jokes are writing themselves. I will have my Bojangles box there for Aggie Pride. I'm telling you, just get an Aggie Pride box. If Bojangles doesn't have an Aggie Pride box, you know, a 3-piece with a side and a sweet tea, y'all are missing out. But anyway,
no, what I was gonna say, June 30th. Let's mark the time, Brian, because there could be one, if not two, announcements about the MEAC. And the reason June 30th is significant is because you have to declare that you're going to move conferences by July 1. And then there's still a 1-year transition that you would have to do. So if anything's going to happen in 26, it has to occur between now and June 30th for one, if not both institutions.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back to that question I'm not supposed to answer, Brian. But, you know, there are some schools at the Division II level that have been approached.
Okay.
I can say that much.
Okay.
But I can't say anything else beyond that.
I've also heard that while the talk of schools coming into the MEAC, there may be a school leaving the MEAC as well. One of those schools from the upper Northeast.
From the DMV?
No, a little north of that. The first state to ratify the Constitution. Yeah, that's just what I've heard. So, but yeah, so if that happens, then
you're still odd.
It's still odd. Yeah, you still have, you know, in out one, in
two.
1 or 2. So then you have instead of a 6-team league, a 7-team league. I don't know. It's just weird. Somehow somebody helped Maryland Eastern Shore rebuild their basketball program so they can get back, or football program.
Football.
Yeah, help Maryland Eastern Shore rebuild their football program so they can get back into playing football again. Just a thought. Again, these are just speculations, rumors, things we hear. You know, just stuff that's out there.
Let me talk on this one from Karen Griffin.
Yeah.
You know, because there's talk that the OVC is not going to survive much longer.
Ooh.
Which leaves Tennessee State in a precarious situation. From a travel standpoint, SWAC makes sense.
For Tennessee State fans, you know, they have a love-hate with that Nissan Stadium, right? A stadium which, by the way, something I learned at the Celebration Bowl, they signed a 30-year deal with that stadium. Tennessee State is not leaving that stadium. And supposedly they've signed a deal with the new stadium that's being built in Nashville.
Correct.
So somehow the Tennessee State faithful are going to have to come to grips with their environment. But that environment looks a lot better if you are playing more schools from the HBCU community. You know, I think so. And yes, yeah, Tennessee State got issues other than football and fans showing up to games. They got fewer issues to worry about.
They're on the list of about 4 or 5 HBCUs right now.
Right. Let me ask this one question before we go to break. And you know, I love my HBCU media brethren and sisters out there. Shout out to Keisha Kelly. I put a tweet out right after the Vick announcement. I don't know if you saw it.
No,
I just put a poll out there. I said, what is the expectation for Mike Vick? And I gave 3 examples. Would it be sort of a 2-year level of success, i.e. what Coach Prime did at Jackson State his first couple seasons? Would it be more of a 4-year window of what it took Eddie George to win a conference title at Tennessee State? Or could it look more like the 2 years of Hugh Jackson at Grambling?
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, you know, I love Keisha. She got on me. She was like, no, don't do that. She was like, don't send that to you. I'm like, Keisha, I just want to know. I want to know what people's expectation and vibe are. So I asked you, Drew, what do you think the expectation for Mike Vick? Because, and I asked that because I think if we don't have a Coach Prime, if we don't have Eddie George, if we don't have Hugh Jackson, we don't have an expectation, right? But because we've had quick success, a standard of success, like a 3 to 4 year window, and you had an epic fail. I mean, epic is not the right.
You had a fail.
We've had a fail. Because you've had those 3 different, I think people will walk into this thing with Mike Vick with some level of expectation. And those were my 3. So I don't know. Would you care to comment or even maybe throw a curveball with a different option?
I think the realistic expectation from the fan bases is going to be Eddie George type success. But if we keep that up on the screen, will Norfolk be happy with that Eddie Robinson Jr. type success stuff? Because Eddie Robinson has not failed, but he has not been to the mountaintop either.
What is his win record been? Has he been?
He's been over 500 every year he's been there, but he's finished in 3rd place.
That's better than what Norfolk State has had the past 20 years.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a 4th one, Brian. I think will the green and gold be happy with a Eddie Robinson versus an Eddie George?
Yeah. All right.
And what
Eddie George would be more like what people should expect.
That's what they should expect. But will they be happy with the Eddie Robinson?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Coach Robinson, Coach Eddie Robinson has won the Magic City 3 years in a row.
I was going to say, that's why I was getting ready to go. Got to be Hampton.
Got to be Hampton. Yep.
Got to be Big State.
Don't lose to Virginia State or Virginia Union. Whatever you do, don't lose to them.
I thought they played Big State, and Union and Hampton were the 2 that always played.
Well, they let me see. I'm looking at the schedule from last year. Let me see. This past year they beat Virginia State, and I think it was 2023 is when they lost to Virginia State, I think.
Right, but I don't think they play Union.
They don't play Union?
No. Hampton and Union are the 2 traditional teams that play, and Big State, Little State.
Okay. Well, you battle the Bay and Labor Day Classic, so you got to win both of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to win both of those. If you win both of those and give me Eddie Robinson, I think the green and gold will be happy.
Let Let me take a look here. Norfolk, so I'm looking at FBS schedules. Norfolk State 25 schedule. It's kind of a meh. They've got, according to FBschedules.com, they play Towson on a Thursday night at Dick Price Stadium. They travel to Rutgers. They host Sacred Heart. They play Robert Morris. They host Robert Morris at Dick Price. And then they travel to Hampton. That's 5 games. This is a 12-game schedule they could play, so there's room to play one more if they wanted to try to find
2 more.
Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. You do have 2 more. Yeah, you got room for 2 more games. So, yeah. So that option is still there for them. So it'll be interesting to see what Norfolk State does. October 4th. Well, actually, and according to this, there's 2 games scheduled for October 4th. So this schedule, this isn't even right. I don't need, because you got 2 games scheduled for October 4th. Robert Morris and Hampton. So something's got to change there.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Robert Morris game has been okay. Thank you, Lawrence. All right. Yeah, Karen said win homecoming. Yeah, you got to win homecoming. Got to win homecoming.
Got to win it.
Got to win it. Got to win it. But one more quick coaching announcement that came out. Adrian Jones, the former coach of Shaw, is now the head coach at Elizabeth City State. So there's so that leaves on the Division II level Central State, Lane, Shaw, and Fort Valley State looking for coaches. And then on the Division I level, Alabama A&M, Delaware State, and Mississippi Valley State still looking for coaches. And I think the Alabama A&M position is the most juicy story that we're kind of waiting to see play out.
That's the next domino to fall.
Right.
Because depending on which way that domino tips, could leave and could open up another job on a Division II level. Or there's 3 ways that one could fall. Could open up a job on the Division II level, could open up a job on the FCS level, or it could be a candidate who's not on either one of those lists right now.
Right. Good point.
So that's gonna tell us how much fun we're gonna have over the next couple of weeks based on that hire. All right, Bryan. Delaware State Valley.
Delaware State Valley. What about it?
I mean, those 2 jobs, man. I mean,
Can I tell you the name that I've heard, the rumors that I've heard for the Valley job?
If you want to put it out there.
I mean, hell, why not? I mean, that's what we're here. Appreciate you, Dr. Love. Thank you. Yeah, hold on. We're gonna answer that question here in a second. I've heard the name Fred McNair tossed around.
Yes, I've heard that.
And what's also interesting about the Fred McNair position is it also has tied into current Southern coach Willie Totten possibly going back to Valley with him. And it also sort of tied, now, again, I'm just connecting dots here. I've heard some things about years left on what I don't know what it's called, your pension, your retirement within the state of Mississippi.
Right.
That there were some years that he was close to like 2 to 3 years left when he got let go. And so
he's trying to get vested, fully vested.
Yeah. Okay. So going back, I don't know all the particulars of how that works, but if you're trying to, if going back into the system with Valley puts you back in the mix to get that, maybe being there for a couple, 3 years, 3 years left. Thank you, Coach Walker. Yeah. So if he can go to Valley and be there for 3 seasons, you can get that retirement from the state of Mississippi. I like it. I like the move, and I think McNair and Totten, man, what a combination! What a name! Like, I'm not from Mississippi, but I know enough about names like Mississippi, McNair, Totten. I mean, that might excite some people in the Mississippi, in the Louisiana, Alabama, Southern Tennessee region, right? Has to, yeah.
I agree with you on that one. So that leaves Delaware State, man.
I don't know. Can he bring back the former coach who was actually moving that program in the right direction before he had a bad season?
Bryan.
Nope.
They got to get a president and athletic director first.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know all that was going on.
Yes. Delaware State needs a president, an athletic director, and a head ball coach.
Before we go to break, bring back that question from Dr. Love there. Appreciate you dropping that in there in the super chats. Thank you. Well, again, expectation is what you go into when you talk about Vick's first year. On a 12-game schedule,
give me 5.
Give me 5. That's a number I was thinking. Give me 5. Give me 5. And of the 7, let's not get embarrassed by anybody in those 7. I mean, let's get it. If we're going to lose, do what happened with Hampton. Hampton lost a couple of games that they probably could have beaten 2 top 20 teams from the CAA, but they lost them in overtime or late in the fourth quarter. I'll take those. You'll take those.
Bryan, give me 5. And out of that, within that 5, I need 2 of these 3. Homecoming,
yeah,
Big State, and Hampton.
Boom.
I need 2 of those 3.
Correct. There you go.
Out of that 5.
Ooh. You see, yeah, I like that. Cedric Walker going to the high school ranks. Jesus. Now that would be wow.
When's the last time we've seen a high school coach?
What if Delaware State moves into another conference? Would we think about Delaware State at that point?
Let's
something
see
more regional. Something more regional.
Bryan, let's see who becomes the president first of Delaware State before we even talk about potential.
I forgot. Your interims. The interim doesn't count.
No,
there's no interim AD.
Interim is not going to make that type of decision.
Oh shit! They may have to.
And interim AD is not going to put the presentation together.
Yikes. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We got some coaching grades to give out. First-year head coaches. While we're talking about coaches, let's talk about performance of the first-year head coach. We were doing a little countdown earlier. We counted 5 first-year head coaches in the SWAC, 1 first-year head coach in the MEAC, 1 first-year head coach in the quote-unquote independents. That would be at Hampton. The MEAC would be South Carolina State, and the 5 first-year coaches in the SWAC, that would be FAMU, Alcorn State, Texas Southern, Grambling, and Southern. That would be on the FCS level. And then at the Division II level, we counted the 2 from Columbia, South Carolina, the 2 from Atlanta, and in the CIAA, I think I got to pull up my graphic here. From the CIAA, how many new coaches do we have in the CIAA?
Bluefield.
Bluefield, yeah. I don't know if we had any others. I'm gonna roll through my old graphic.
Bluefield did.
And see if I can find it. But let's take a break, and we'll come back and give out some grades from coaching performances for first-year coaches, and then give you our nominees for our Coach of the Year on both levels, Players of the Year, offense and defense. You guys tell us whether you agree with the nominees, and then I want to take a look at top 5 and bottom 5 final rankings from the HBCU football season. So a lot to get to, but only a little time to do it. So let's take a break, come back real quick. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2025? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 31st to February 2nd, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances from the Levert Experience and the Bar Cave. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends, honoring talents such as Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, and Luther Vandross. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew here. Checking in. Hey, anybody out there, anybody in their fantasy football semifinals this week? I'm just curious. Any of you guys out there in your fantasy football semifinals? How's your team doing today? For those of you who are still alive, I actually have one league, Drew. I am 14-0 going into the semifinals. And yeah, I said 14-0. I'm going for that perfect season, like the Dolphins, 72 Dolphins. I see Edwin
Or will
Moore.
will you be the Patriots?
Well,
Patriots.
I'm currently leading. We're playing on the NFL app. Matter of fact, this is the league I'm in with Trevin. You used to be in this league.
Technically, I'm still in. I just haven't participated.
Oh my God, you're that guy. Okay. I'm currently winning 157.34 to 92.94. Again, I can give all credit and glory to my triumvirate of running backs: Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and James Conner, all doing work. Brock Bowers, I picked up. Somebody had dropped Brock Bowers. Can you believe that? Somebody dropped Brock Bowers. You know, I scooped him up real quick. I gave all my fab money up to get him. I'm like, oh, there's no way. The number 1 tight end in fantasy football is just hanging out there. Oh, I got to go grab him. So that's kind of my team. I've been feasting, man. I'm doing it all with Aaron Rodgers, like his old butt. And, you know, somehow Bo Nix, I picked him up. Oh, I picked up Abdul. Man, I'm rolling, man. I'm going to the championship unbeaten. Shout out to you, Edwin. Good luck, man. I hope your team wins. Hope you make it to the championship. I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch, Drew. I somehow let the visions of what I will do if I were to complete the perfect season, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to start thinking too much about it. So we'll just looks like we're on our way to getting a win, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. We mentioned grades. Y'all know who Coach of the Year is. Okay. All right. Let's start there then. All right. Let's start there. Now, and you know what? Hey, Sneaker Talk. That's
Brandon King.
Brandon, you're going to get a ballot, Brandon. So you better vote on this ballot that you're going to get. All right, let's go through some of the nominees. These are the nominees, and this will be going out to our HBCU Black College Sports Network brethren. Might even get a few other people that regular contributors to our shows. But you'll be getting an email this evening, so be prepared. These are our nominees for Coach of the Year on the Division I FCS level. I got 4 names. You guys tell me if I'm missing anybody. We've got Coach T.C. Taylor of Jackson State, Coach Eddie George of Tennessee State, Coach Chennis Berry of South Carolina State, and Coach Terrence Graves of Southern. Anybody now this is the nominees, anybody that we should put into the nominee ballot.
Write-in candidate.
Any write-in candidates that you can think of that I don't have here.
Eddie Robinson Jr.
Really? You would put him in there?
Brian. He went through 5 quarterbacks this season, still finished above 500, and was in the race until 2 weeks remaining in the season. Yes, I put him in.
Okay. That's fair. We'll round it out at 5. You know how we like to do 5, so we'll round it out at 5. Anybody else? Can't think of anybody else, huh? We'll leave it there.
Do you put Trey Oliver in there?
Oh, yeah, forgot about Trey Oliver.
I leave him as a write-in.
I would leave him as a write-in. I don't,
I think that's it on the Division I level.
See, it's funny. You put in Robinson in. I would probably have put in Trey Oliver before I put in Robinson Jr. So, but I respect it. I get it. Okay. The hardship games. Okay. What a horrible 4th down play by the Jaguars. Unbelievable. What's 14 plus 19, Drew? Quick math.
That would be 33, Brian.
Damn, come on. I mean, how do I not even? Anyway. I'm just going to play opposite of every pick that I want, Drew. I'm just playing opposite of everything. Everybody that I listen to, I'm just going oppo. From here for the rest of the week, for the rest of this year, I'm playing oppo.
Oppo, I got you.
I'm going to play, I'm just going to say, nope, go opposite. And I bet you I'm going to have some Christmas money. Anyway, did either of them improve? Did either of who improve? Who's he talking about?
I think they're talking about Trey or Eddie.
Look, I was fine with the 4. I think the 4, maybe not. I don't know. See, the reason I can't put Eddie Robinson in there is because we were there for week 1, Drew. That week 1 game, I still can't get that foolishness.
And Trey beat.
And Trey beat him, and both of them, I don't know what either one of. I mean, that that fourth quarter was a head scratcher from a coaching perspective. Anyway. All right, let me go to the non-D1 coaches. Yeah, I think we got to put it. I think Graves deserves some nomination. I mean, Southern. Hey, look, if Jackson State fans can show up graphics and say where they were predicted to finish preseason, what was Southern preseason predicted? 4th. And they ran away with the West with like 3 weeks to go. So yes, I think, and they had, I think we got to put Graves in there. Okay. So maybe we leave off Robinson. Okay, here we go. Non-Division I nominees, Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year nominees, non-Division I. Dr. Alvin Parker, Virginia Union. Sam Shade, Miles College. Maurice Flowers, Johnson C. Smith. And Teddy Keaton, Clark. Any names missing?
A couple names to consider: Dr. Henry Frazier III of Virginia State, and I'm drawing a blank. A guy down at Florida Memorial.
Oh, Coach Bobby Rome.
Bobby Rome Jr.
Huh.
Those would be 2 names that I would say should be under consideration as far as a finalist.
Okay. Okay. Bobby Rome, Florida Memorial. And who was the other one?
Henry Frazier, Dr. Henry Frazier.
Okay. All right. Frazier went backward. I think had Virginia State, because I think Union might have got in regardless, but if Virginia State would have won by beating Virginia Union twice, I think that might have pushed him into strong consideration. All right, let's go nominees for defensive or Division I Offensive Player of the Year.
This is a crowded list.
This is a crowded list. I got 8 names on this list. The quarterbacks, I've got Eric Phoenix of South Carolina State, Draylon Ellis of Tennessee State, Daniel Richardson of Florida A&M. The running backs, Irv Mulligan of Jackson State, Jamari Taylor of North Carolina Central. Wide receivers, Giovanni Gibson of UAPB. And return specialists / kick returners, Travis Terrell of Jackson State and CJ Evans of Tennessee State. And so what we'll do is we'll have people rank. I agree, no more than 5. We won't have more than 5. When the final list comes out, it'll be 5. But I will be asking people to rank the top 5. Jimmy Mack, you're being I love you, but come on, be rich. Now, he was the best quarterback in the SWAC. So, I mean, there's that.
They get you 5 and 3. That's what they get you.
Well, he missed one of the most important games due to injury. So,
well, correct.
Yeah. All right. Any names left off? Any names out of the top 8 there that we left off?
I think we're good right there.
All right. Let's go Defensive Players of the Year. D1, Defensive Players of the Year. Kelby Gibbons of Southern, defensive lineman. Defensive end, Ashad Hall of South Carolina State. Linebacker, Aaron Smith of South Carolina State. Defensive lineman, Traquan Thomas of Alabama State. Linebacker, Andrew Jones of Grambling. Defensive back, Boogie Trotter of Tennessee State. Defensive back, Kenny Gallup of Howard. Defensive back, Kevrick Wiggins Jr. of Jackson State.
I know who I would be voting for.
Who would you vote for? Just curious.
I'm where it's my top 2 would be Kelby Gibbons and Aaron Smith. And Aaron Smith jumped up because of what I saw with my own eyes in that Celebration Bowl.
I was gonna be my next question. Is that a little biased because of what you saw from Aaron Smith in the Celebration Bowl?
That's not a little biased, Brian. That is a lot biased.
What?
But he already had the numbers. But actually witnessing that with my own eyes against that level of competition, yeah, that definitely
Morgan
puts him towards the top of my list.
Jeremiah Williams. Give me a school, Chris Dukes. Morgan. Jacoby and Morgan. Is that who EA is talking about?
Hey, if y'all please with y'all suggestions for first and last name and school.
Yeah, please. Any suggestions, All right, let's go to the Division I side. Non-Division I Offensive Player of the Year. Quarterback, David Wright, Clark. The running backs,
there you go,
Jada
Brian.
Byers of Virginia Union, Brandon Marshall, Fort Valley State, and Joel Felder of West Virginia State. Wide receivers, Reginald Vick Jr. of Virginia Union, Armand Harris of Clark, and Brevin Caldwell of Johnson C. Smith. And then the kick returner, punt returner, DeJuan Bell of Fort Valley State.
Only thing I got about this one, Brian, who's coming in second?
Yeah, I agree.
Because one is hands down is Jada Byers, number one. Would have been David Wright, but David Wright kind of regressed towards the end of the year for my number two. Threw a lot of picks down the stretch that I did not like. Brandon Marshall. If Brandon Marshall's team finishes higher than they do, he's another one that I give some to. I mean, Reginald Vick Jr., he is off of the national championship team, but I'm gonna give a vote to somebody off of for Virginia Union, it's going to Jada Byers. So,
how do you evaluate wide receivers?
If they don't have a quarterback, you don't. Well, you can't.
Right. But I mean, evaluating wide receivers is so hard and giving them the award. I mean, Vick Jr. had great numbers. Harris had great numbers. Brevin Caldwell, great numbers. But they're a product of either the offense or the opportunities. Yeah. I guess that maybe is both.
What was that guy from Tennessee State that had like 110 catches about 4 or 5 years ago?
Chris Rowland?
Yeah, Chris Rowland.
Yeah. Chris Rowland. So it'll be interesting. And a lot of these guys received, whether it be Division II rankings, All-American awards, Phil Steele. Well, Phil Steele doesn't do Division II, but like the regional rankings stuff, those guys had those opportunities. Okay, here are the non-Division I Defensive Player of the Year nominees. Defensive back LaShawn Young of Miles. Defensive lineman Jamichael Rogers of Miles. Defensive lineman Isaac Anderson of Virginia Union. Linebacker Benari Black of Johnson C. Smith. Defensive lineman Israel Wokacha of Benedict. Or that's Wokacha, one of the two. Defensive back Nick Blake of West Virginia State. Linebacker Sadiq Salawu of Bowie State. And defensive lineman Bruno Anwazor of Virginia State. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't LaShawn Young miss a couple of games and still led the SIAC in interception?
Let me look. Let's see. He was the SIAC Defensive Player of the Year. Leads the NCAA in interceptions with 8. Now, this was as of December 6th. He also had 14 pass defenses, which was tied for 12th in the nation. Finished the season with 53 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and an interception that was returned for a touchdown. And he had 2 games with 2 interceptions. He's the first Golden Bear selected to the Box to Row HBCU All-American team since former linebacker Austin Stevens made the team in 2018.
I remember Stevens.
I do remember him as well. There's a name, Justin Fleming, Winston-Salem State. He was a Harlan Hill nominee, huh? Had top 5 in sacks and picks in the CID. Okay, well, appreciate that. Let me add his name to the list. Justin Fleming, West Virginia State. Or Winston-Salem State, excuse me. What was he, a defensive lineman? 5 sacks and a pick. DB. Thank you. I had to read DB. Okay. Justin Fleming. Appreciate that. All right. Love our community. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Great stuff. Okay. And so be looking for that list to come out next Sunday, probably. By the time we get all the voting, we'll be doing that by next Sunday, and you'll find out who our Black College Sports Network players and coaches of the year are. What other category, Drew? How about top HBCU football upset of the year?
Some of you guys may want to turn away for this segment.
And even there was one particular day in the calendar year that consumed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 very interesting games. 3 of them were on our upset list. September 21st. If you can think back or go look back and Google up who played on September 21st. Yes, September 21st.
Can we play the song without getting a copyright? Do you remember?
It is. Do you remember
the 21st
of September? Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's crazy, Drew. Oh man. Yeah, I'll have to figure. We may have to just beat the. Yeah, we may have.
Beat the census at their own game.
Yeah. Co-pilot got one of them. Yes. The Grambling win against Jackson State, 41-20 in the hole. Significant for 2 reasons. One, it's probably as good as Grambling looked all year, and it was the last loss by Jackson State. And I just remember after that game, I think whatever opinions we had of Grambling and Jackson State, by the time the season ended,
we're all wrong at that point.
That's all wrong. All wrong. Complete 180 after that game. Another game that happened on September 21st, Johnson C. Smith beating Virginia Union at home 21-15. Johnson C. was 4-0 at the time, the first time they've been 4-0 since 1982. Yes, September 21st, Clark Atlanta rolls down after already having a game of the year was ruined in Florida just a week earlier for Clark. They roll down to Daytona Beach and they knock off Bethune-Cookman 38-37. The only Division II HBCU team to beat an FCS team in the year. Congratulations on that one, Clark. Now, this didn't make the upset list, but for September 21st, Morehouse beating Kentucky State in Chicago, the Chicago Classic, would turn out to be Morehouse's only win of the year.
Like I say, some of us need to turn away for this segment, even though we came out on the good side of that.
But Duke is who we thought they were. Also, upsets of the year. Livingstone's win versus Johnson C. Smith. Hold on, let me go back. I should have set this up better. How about, first off, Livingstone 24-19 homecoming win against Fayetteville State on October 12th. It ended a 7-game losing streak to Fayetteville State, and just the second time that they beat Fayetteville State in the past 15 years. Then you also had Livingstone at the end of the season beating Johnson C. Smith 15-10 on November 9th. Last game of the regular season knocked Johnson C. Smith out of the CIAA championship game. Johnson C., who had gone 8-0, finished with 2 losses and sitting there looking like, what the hell just happened? Livingstone did that. Not 1, 2 big upsets that year, I think. How about I already mentioned the Winston-Salem win over Virginia State, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then last but definitely not least, oh, hold on, one more. Shaw getting a win at Fayetteville State. So it's kind of interesting, Drew. Livingstone's in this twice for wins. Fayetteville State's in it twice for losses. Johnson C. Smith is in it 1 win, 1 loss. Interesting. Yes, Shaw defeating Fayetteville State 38-35 on October 26th. That was the first win for Shaw against Fayetteville State since 2013. Again, they went on the road and beat Fayetteville State, who was the standard of the South. Yes, and then, of course, can't leave out the fact that Mississippi Valley State went to Tallahassee, got a 24-21 win on November 6th, ending FAMU's 23-game home win streak, and turned out to be Valley's only win of the season. Yeah, that part.
Orange and green, please turn away.
Any other upsets that we missed? I don't know. I couldn't find any other upsets, Drew. I don't know. You guys in the chat, are there any other upsets that you can think of that we missed? Edwin,
we appreciate that, Edwin.
Thanks, Edwin. Was it the upset of the year? I don't know. You know, I think the Clark Bethune was pretty interesting. How about if we went down and said the 1 and 2 big?
I was gonna say, Ronaldo, that was not as big of an upset. I mean, because of what happened the previous week.
The following week.
The following week, rather. Yeah. The following week. You know, you can see Prairie View beating Florida A&M, especially because it was on the road for Florida A&M.
Right.
23-game home winning streak. That one is
to Valley.
Valley.
We talking about
Valley. We talking about that Valley. Valley.
Valley, who got rid of their coach, Valley. Jesus. Yeah. So, but if your 2 biggest upsets were Valley at FAMU and Clark at Bethune, then you basically had 2 of the biggest upsets happening in the state of Florida. Yeah. I think without a doubt, the CIAA as a conference would be my conference of the year.
Oh, hands down.
I mean, just the come out of nowhere drama that the CIAA provided was chef's kiss. I mean,
Bryan,
good stuff.
Which division /conference had the best year? The CIAA South or the SWAC East?
Ooh. Well, I'd have to say this. You mean the old South? The old
South. The old CIAA.
Well,
South.
You know what? I have to say, for the simple fact that the conference champion, the national champion, came out of the SWAC East. I'm going to say the SWAC East by a smidge. The more interesting stories, I think, were in the CIAA Old South.
Yeah. And Brian, advantage SWAC East. As much as we talked about the CIAA South, they had no representatives in the CIAA championship game.
Exactly. There you go. That part right there. Yeah, that part. All right. First year coaching grades. Let's quickly go through this, Drew. Quickly go through this. I don't have any graphics for the SWAC coaches, but the 5 SWAC coaches we had. Let me see if I can do this once again. I keep doing this. We had James Colsey, Florida A&M. Terrence Graves, Southern. Mickey Joseph, Grambling. Cedric Thomas, Alcorn. And
Texas Southern.
Chris Dishman, Texas Southern. Those were your 5. 4 of the 5 coming out of the West Division. So, anybody out of that 5 that you give an A to?
Outside of Terrence Graves? This category.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying this category would be a first-year head coaches at their school. First year at the school this year. First year at the school. Not first overall coaching job, but just first year at the school this year.
Terrence Graves gets an A.
That's a fact, EA, right? Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes.
I think everybody else in the SWAC gets a C.
Tough grader. C, huh?
Wait, here's the question, Brian.
I agree with you. Graves getting an A. I agree with you on Graves getting an A.
Outside of Terrence Graves, did any of those teams that we mentioned improve under the first year head coach?
I thought, hold on, let me pull up. Where's my standings? Didn't hold on.
Outside of Southern was the only team that improved.
No, Texas Southern improved.
Okay.
Hold on, let me pull it up here. Texas Southern finished 3rd. I feel shame. I feel shame anytime I think about anything higher than a C. So Ronaldo, look.
Okay.
Texas Southern finished 4-4 in conference play, 5-6 overall.
I give
a 2-game winning streak. That's higher than expectation. That might.
I give Dishman a B.
Yeah, I give Dishman a B. I give Dishman a B. How about this? While we're being critical, Alcorn State finished 5-3, second place, 6-6.
Well, but what were they last year? 5-3. They 5-3 last year.
So no real improvement. So you give them about.
I think they were 7-5 last year. Actually, I think that's what their overall record was.
All right, so we'll go C for Alcorn.
I give Dishman a B.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that plus and minus stuff.
No, just solid scores here. No F squares or anything like that. Solid B for Dishman, who, by the way, I thought I really loved listening to him in the SWAC Monday press calls. Love it. I want more of that kind of energy. Alcorn, C. Colsey, C. I'm gonna Mickey Joseph, 2-6 in conference, 5-7 overall. I'm gonna go.
I would be mad if you did.
I'm gonna go D.
I would be mad if you did.
I'm gonna go D. I mean, 41-20. You beat the champs 41-20. What happened after that?
Nothing.
I think Grambling fans want to know. Justify that C. Okay. Well, justify the C. A, we beat Southern. And I say we, I'm saying FAMU beat Southern.
I got one.
They beat South Carolina State. Won homecoming against Texas Southern, won the Classic, finished the season, 2-game winning streak, finished second overall. I think that's C. I think that's a C.
And I'm going to throw one, since we haven't revealed our top 5, I'm going to use Dr. Cavill's top 7.
Oh, yeah.
Outside of Jackson State, FAMU had the most wins against the top 7.
Ooh, there you go. See, while we bring up EA brought up that TC and Jackson State went 4-1 against first-year coaches, right? You look, you have the top 7. Pull it up. You got it. Pull it up.
Hold up, let me get to
Doc's top 7. This is from earlier in the week. Dr. Cavill's top 7. All right. Top 7, right?
Yes. FAMU defeated number 2,
yep,
number 6, and number 7.
Yep. Yeah.
Lost to number 1. Number 1, Jackson State, defeated number 2, number 5, number 6, and number 7.
Which is why they're number 1. That's
exactly.
what it took. Right.
Exactly.
No
one else on that list has multiple wins against the top 7. The only other team on that list with a win against the top 7 is North Carolina Central, defeating number 6, Alabama State.
Right. Week 1. Right.
Week 1. No one else defeated another top 17.
Right.
So that's why FAMU gets the C in my perspective. Yes. If they do not lose to Valley, he gets a B.
Yeah, yes.
The Valley loss is what dropped him down to a C.
All right. Yeah. All right. Do you want to let's continue here before we move forward here. Let me go. Grade, first-year coach over in the only first-year coach in the MEAC. This was from the preseason. These are stats from the preseason, by the way. Chennis Berry. What grade we giving Coach Berry?
Oh, he gets an A.
Gets an A.
Win the MEAC national championship game. Has won multiple Coach of the Year awards throughout not only HBCU but FCS. Yes, he gets an A.
At what point? Maybe it's already started. At what point are we going to start with the whole best coach to not be able to win the big one? Has it already started for Coach Berry? 3rd year in a row?
No.
What you got? What do you have to do? 1 more year?
No. Well, here's the thing, Brian. He gets a reset because he changed levels.
Okay. Feel like you're moving the goalpost, but okay.
I mean, he gets a reset. Okay. If he was still at Benedict and he lost again this year without winning a playoff game, that would be the topic of discussion. But because he's gone from Benedict to South Carolina State, he gets a reset on that conversation.
All right.
And then we have the Division II coaches.
Okay, Division II coaches. Devon Morgan from Bluefield. Looking at Bluefield's schedule, 0-7, 1-9. 0-7 in conference. They actually started the year 1-1. They lost 8 in a row down the stretch, dead last in the standings. The only team in the CIAA to not win. And I think his hire was kind of late too, wasn't it?
I think
it was after spring, because I feel like he was coaching at FAMU in the spring, and then all of a sudden we looked up, or either right at the start of spring practice or right at the end of it, and he was gone. And he was like, oh, he's taking a new job as the head coach. I was like, huh?
So I got to give him a D, man. Not gonna fail him because of the timing of it, but everything else was not good.
Their one win was at Concord University, 22-13. I'm just kind of scrolling through and seeing if they were really competitive. They finished the season with a competitive game against Elizabeth City State. They lost 27-21.
Yeah, but I know Union beat them 91-0 though.
Yeah, they beat them 91-0. Virginia State beat them 45-6. Bowie State beat them 54-0. That's towards the end of the season. Those last 3 weeks is when the wheels really were falling off the car. So yeah, interesting opportunities there. Okay. He had 91 scored on them. Yeah, I'd go D as well. You know, I'm not giving an F is because of the timing of the hire. The only reason I don't give him an F. Okay. All right, here we go. First year coaches in the SIC. Now Drew can't comment on this one, folks, so don't ask him.
Remember, he was hired late also.
Right, late hire. Let's see. I'm looking at the standings here.
1-9.
1-9. Yeah.
1-7.
Competitive against. How are y'all competitive? What was the game against Clark? Competitive game.
It was a 2-score game. We lost. I think we lost that game by like maybe 14. 10. We had our opportunities in that game. This team had a lot of opportunities, Brian. The Howard game, we stayed competitive in the Howard game.
I saw that. Yeah.
Then there were some other games that, we just laid an egg.
Yeah. Tough evaluation. I guess I'm going to be fair and I give it a D. Give it a D. All right. What's a late hire? The time frame. I would say.
I think Terrence got hired in like March or maybe even early April by the time Terrence got hired last year.
Yeah, I think once you start moving it, if you're not hired in, look, what's late is anything that's about to happen for.
What's late now? It's late now.
Now is late. Now is late. Later is when you're being hired like right before spring practice.
What was latest is when you're hired after spring practice.
Oh, right. And now we did have somebody who was that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot one. Hampton.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't have a graphic for Hampton. We'll come back. These are the first-year coaches, the other first-year head coaches in the SIC. Of course, Teddy Keaton to the far right, Cedric Pearl at Allen, and Benedict's coach, name escapes me, Ron. I'm so unprepared. Apologies for that. Somebody help me out here.
Is it Dickerson?
Dickerson, thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was Ron. I had the first name. All right. So those are your first pulling up the standings. Yeah. I know Allen was 1-7, 2-8, but I was really impressed with what I saw Allen. I had the pleasure of calling the Allen Edward Waters game. Was really impressed with what I see Coach Pearl building at Allen. And I think that was a total rebuild. I'm going to go C. I think Allen had, hold on. And the reason I'm giving C for Allen, I think they had, let me see. Going into the loss to Edward Waters, they had just beat Central State. They had lost 1, 2, 3 consecutive games by one possession. Lost to Valley by 9, lost in overtime to Benedict, lost by 3 to Kentucky State. Combine that with a 4-point loss to Clark at the beginning of the year and a 2-point loss to Livingston College. So that's 5 games within one score.
And Brian, throw
late
this in there.
hire. Yeah.
Throw this in there. Not only was he a late hire, but right after he got hired, his athletic director left to go take another job.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he winds up with a new athletic director.
So I'm going to go see. Benedict Dickerson, 4-4 in the conference, 4-6 overall. Again, if you want to know where all the Benedict players are, go look up the road. They're in South Carolina State. That's where all those guys went.
A lot of them probably didn't even move. They probably commuting. I gave him a B because he had nowhere to go but down.
And he managed to be,
he managed to be 500.
500 in conference. You're being generous. Hold on, let me look and see. Let's see. Non-conference, competitive against North Greenville, lost 23-7 to Virginia State.
Okay, call it a C then, Brian.
I'm gonna go C. Let's keep it real. Let's go C. Teddy Keaton, I'm going A. I'm going A for Keaton. You took a winless team, knocked off, to
the championship.
Yeah, took a winless team to the championship and knocked off a FCS program. I think that's A. Solid A. Solid work. And then we mentioned who we forgot to mention was Hampton.
Yes. Hey, you talk about who was that asked about late hire? That was the latest hire of them all. That was like May when he got hired. Because
that hire, yeah, go ahead. You're about to say that hire happened right after spring football.
Yes, because the head coach got let go after spring practice.
Right. Robert Purdy, who was the head coach, was let go, and then Trent Boykin, the head coach, interim, and now he's officially the head coach. He was named the head coach officially mid-season, mid-October. And
he gets at least a B in my.
I'm thinking B as well. I know there's no close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I get it. But when I go back and look at, let me see, their standing. Maybe I'm being too generous.
Brian, I know they lost 2 games by less than 1 score.
2-6 in conference, 5-7 overall. I'm being too generous. And you lost to Rhode Island by 2, and you lost to who was it? You lost to Villanova. You lost those were home games. You had Rhode Island, you lost to them in overtime at home, and you had Villanova. You lose by 6 to them. Also losing, they lost to Richmond by a field goal at home.
So 3
games at home that you should have won, could have won in conference play.
Adam Spencer, I think, may have hit it, Brian.
An incomplete on Hampton.
Yeah, I could go for that one.
I can respect that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you talked this into it. Spencer. But if I had to issue a grade, I'd
remember, Brian, in order to get it incomplete, you have to be passing.
Yeah, so I would say a B or C. I'm more, you're thinking more B. I'm thinking more C.
But he's passing.
He's passing.
Yes.
Right. He's passing. All right. You want to take a look at bottom 5 programs or top 5 programs first?
Are we starting with let's start with the easy ones. Let's start with the non-division ones and just get those top 5 out the way.
Oh, you want to do our final top 5s of the year?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And then we'll take that deep dive on the FCS level.
All right. So here we go. These are the final rankings. Black College Sports Network final rankings for the 2024 football season, starting in the non-Division 1 category. What do we got? You going through it? Okay. So these would be schools ranked 6 through 10 if this were a top 10 ranking. Number 6 would be Shaw.
No.
Or excuse me. Number 10 would be Shaw.
There you go.
9 would be Albany State. 8 would be Livingstone. Heck of a story. 7 would be Clark Atlanta. And 6 would be Winston-Salem State. Good mix of CIAA and SIAC schools. That would be 10 through 6. All right. Here we go. Number 5. Florida Memorial out of the Sun Conference. Yowzer. Nice job. Back-to-back winning seasons for Coach Rome.
Back-to-back top 5s in the BCSN.
I mean, they're closing the gap. I mean, again, probably the number one conference in NAIA, even though they didn't win the national title. You had 2 top 10 teams and a team that finished national runner-up. Florida Memorial's closing the gap. Number 4. Who top 10? Who's top 10? I would ask. All right, number 4, Johnson C. Smith. Oh, man, what a season. Johnson C. Smith started 8-0. What could have been for those last 2 games. All they had to do was win one of those last 2 games, and they would have been in the CIAA championship. Might have even been in the playoffs. Had they won one of those final 2. Instead, nothing but looking ahead to the future. Number 3, Virginia State. The Trojans finished 7-4, 6-1. Second place, they knock off Virginia Union in the regular season matchup. Fortunate enough to get back into a rematch in the championship, and they come up short. Number 2, Miles College Golden Bears, of course, won their first ever NCAA, hosted and won their first ever NCAA playoff game. Lost in the second round. Coach Sam Shade did a great job. 10-3, 8-0, perfect in conference play. Great season by Miles. Remember where he brought this program from 2 years ago, following departing where they departed from. Johnson C, 3 top 10 wins. Interesting. Again, who's top 10? One top 10.
I think he's talking about our top 10.
You're talking about our top 10? Okay. I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, that's big time. So, I mean, you know, maybe is this the question? Why is Winston-Salem 6 and not 5? Is that where this is going? Good, interesting question. And number 1, of course, Virginia Union made it to the regional finals. Yeah, regional finals. So, congratulations to our non-Division 1 BCSN national champions, Virginia Union, edging out Miles, finishing ahead of Virginia State, Johnson C. Smith in the CIAA. Florida Memorial finishes 5th. Winston-Salem finishes 6th. Clark 7, Livingston 8, Albany State 9, Shaw 10. And as our good friend WSSU Ram Nation points out, only Winston-Salem State and Johnson C have 3 top 10 wins through the course of the season. Yeah. Well, interesting.
Correction, Brian.
Oh.
Miles does also.
Oh, Miles has 3 top 10. Really?
Yeah. Albany State and Clark Atlanta twice.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, okay. Oh, there you go. Virginia Union has what? 1. Let's see. They lost to Johnson C. Smith. They didn't play Winston-Salem State. Didn't play Livingston. Didn't play Shaw.
But Virginia Union made it to the regional finals. Do we need to have this debate?
I don't think anybody's debate. I don't think there's any debate on Virginia Union being number 1. I don't think.
Just want to make sure we understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, Union did beat. Okay.
So that gives them 2.
That gives them 2. All right. All right. Again, these are computer-based rankings. We just punch in the data. We let the numbers speak for themselves. No poll voting, no voters. So there's no opinion here. This is just what the computer and the data tells us. So it is what it is, right? Exactly. It all levels out. Okay. Let's talk about the bottom 5 teams in FCS football, because this is fascinating. I think we can debate about the top 5, but why debate about the top 5? Let's talk about the worst programs of the past year. And this is looking back on Dr. Cavill's poll, his major division final rankings. Okay. And again, he ranks all 21 teams in the FCS. Looking at the bottom 5, okay. The bottom 5 programs, according to his rankings, you had 2 schools ranked with 1 loss. Delaware State.
1 win.
With 1 win. A&T right above them. Then does Valley really have 2 wins? No, Valley has 1 win. That's a little, little error there. Valley has 1 win. That literally, I know that. And Bethune-Cookman, and then UAPB. So that would be your bottom 5. I'm just going to draw a line right below UAPB. Okay. So if we just look at the bottom 5, and let's juxtapose that with our BCSN computer rankings. The computer rankings, right? The computer tells us it agrees that Delaware State is the worst team, worst program, right? Okay. Slightly above Del State is Mississippi Valley State. Bethune-Cookman, 3rd worst program, 2-10 season, losing to Clark, reminder. UAPB finishing 4th from the bottom in the SWAC. And then the curious one to me is North Carolina A&T. Now, I got to believe the computer, 1-11, 0 wins against FCS. As much as we can talk about Del State and Valley, at least they beat an FCS program. A&T beat a Division II team, and probably, and I know WSSU Ram Nation would agree, they probably should have lost to that Division II team that they played. Probably should have lost. Exactly. Hey, the computers love the CAA, man. I guess that's the only thing I can think of. But there is my personal. I gotta say honestly, Drew, I would rank A&T as 21. If I don't think I voted. I don't think Doc asked me to vote, or I didn't vote in the bottom 5. But if I had a vote among the bottom 5 teams, my bottom 5 would be A&T worst, Delaware State at 20, Valley at 20, at 19, Bethune at 18, Arkansas at 17. So I mean, I'm sorry. You went 0-11 against FCS opponents, or FCS or better opponents. You had one win against a Division II team. Worst team, worst season of the year. Congratulations to Aggies.
I think EA just brought up something that I didn't even realize that JSU played 3 of these 5 on their schedule.
Look, when people were giving me grief about ranking South Carolina State when I tried to tell y'all, I tried to tell you about the schedules. I mean, look, Jackson State won it on the field. They played who was in front of them. But during the season, I kept referencing the schedule.
Can I take it one step further?
Sure,
please. There were some people who were debating Tennessee State. Tennessee State played 2 of these 5 also.
Okay.
IJS.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
All right.
We didn't have
who's your bottom among the bottom 3? Valley, Del State, A&T. Who's your bottom 3?
This is tough, Brian. Because A&T does have they only played 1 co-pilot. South Carolina State only played 1. Whoa, wait a minute. Time out. Did South Carolina State play A&T? I know they played Del State.
Hold on. Let me go. Let me look it up. Pull it up real quick. Go ahead. Keep going with your thought while I look it up here. South Carolina State. Did they play A&T? I don't know if they played A&T this year.
Everybody else is saying yes.
Yes, they did. Actually, they did play A&T. 45-25 on September 28th.
So they played 2.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, A&T definitely wins the strength of schedule among all these teams. They play the toughest schedule of these 5 teams, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, Brian, and you're going to hate me for saying this. Valley has the best win of anybody on this list.
They do. Yes, they do. It's a fact. Facts. It is what it is. Facts. Yep.
Matter of fact, Bethune beat one of these 2 teams on this list, if I remember correctly. Bethune beat Valley.
They did beat Valley. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I can't put Valley. I can't put Bethune in anywhere but 4th worst. I can't put them anywhere. They're not the bottom 3. I can't put Bethune in the bottom 3.
Bethune didn't play UAPB. So, but Brian, Bethune lost to Division II also. So that's a wash.
I got you. All right. Well, interesting.
I understand your argument. I can't. Who cares, Brian? This is the last 5. Who cares? These are the ones when we play pickup basketball where, oh, pick me, and that's the only one left, and you wait on somebody to pull up so they can be on your team, and they ain't even got out the car. I got him in the car.
Well, here's why we care, because all 3 of these programs have new coaches. They got rid of the current coaches. So only A&T has a new coach. Valley's still looking. Del State's still looking. I think folks wanted to run Raymond Woody out of Bethune, but they're giving him another year. I think UAPB's coach, he wins the soundbite every week, and I think people are falling in love with winning the soundbite. So it is what it is. All right, here we go. Top 5 final rankings for the 2024 HBCU football season. Starting at the bottom, this would be 10-6. 10-6 of our final computer rankings. Number 10, Alabama A&M. They are looking for a new coach. Number 9, Hampton University. Number 8, Morgan State. Morgan State, boy, Morgan State. Here's the off-season buzz on Morgan State. If they ever figure out the offense, how many times are we going to hear that in the off-season? Number 7, Alabama State.
Press replay on that statement that you just said, Brian.
boy, if they ever figure out their offense. And number 6 would be Florida A&M University. All right. Let's get into the top 5. Sad to see my Rattlers out of the top 5, but hey, we lost the Valley. That's what happens. When you lose the Valley, you can't be in the top 5. I'm sorry.
No, of anything except disappointed losses.
Disappointed losses, exactly. Southern University comes in at number 5. SWAC West Division champs. They did win the Bayou Classic. Third time that Terrence Graves has done that. Mr. Bayou. Great conversation, by the way, with Coach Graves on the Carlos Brown show.
Yes.
If you missed it yesterday, go check it out on YouTube. It'll also be available on the BCSN Pod Zone later tonight or tomorrow. But great interview with
that segment was almost about an hour long.
It was, man. I tell you, good stuff, man. Carlos and the panel doing a great interview with Coach Graves. So appreciate Coach Graves for taking time to do that. Carlos just great connections that he has with the Southern coaches and community there. All right, number 4. Yeah, I know EA. I know we beat Southern. We lost the Valley. We lost the Valley. Look, had we not lost the Valley, we're number 5 ahead of Southern. I just can't say it any clearer than that. You know, it is what it is. North Carolina Central, number 4. According to the computer rankings. Not going to make my guy Johnny Thornton happy at all. He's going to be like, he already thinks you have a problem with Central, Drew. So I know he's going to see our computer rankings and be like,
I don't have a problem with Central. I just don't think they should be at number 3.
All right. Number 3 is Tennessee State, co-champs of the Big South OVC. Eddie George, Coach of the Year, all the good stuff that got to the FCS playoffs. Tough loss on the road in game 1, but they got there. Now they know what they need to do to clean up. We'll see can they go back a second year. So congratulations to Coach George. And then number 2, easy to figure out. That is South Carolina State, MEAC champs. Coach Dennis Berry in the first year had a great season. Number 1 is, of course, with a 12-2 record, SWAC champs, Celebration Bowl champs, and the HBCU national champions, Jackson State. This time, Drew, I think we can award Jackson State the trophy, and they don't feel any kind of way. This is the second time that we have recognized Jackson State as our BCSN national champions. This one I think they'll claim. Yeah, so congratulations to Jackson State on winning it. Come on, co-pilot. I said what I said. You guys, you asked for so much. Just be happy I said it, okay? Anyway. There you go. Finals 1 through 5. Jackson State, South Carolina State, Tennessee State, North Carolina Central, and Southern, followed up by FAMU, Alabama State, Morgan, Hampton, and Alabama A&M. Is it pretty much a done deal, Drew, that as we think about the offseason, Jackson State will be the preseason number 1 team?
As long as they don't get like 50 defections from the program, yes.
Yeah, I can't see it. They got the quarterback. I don't know. Is somebody in the chat tell me, is Herb Mulligan coming back? I hope he graduated.
Yeah. Now here's the question, Brian. Who's gonna be preseason in the BAC, Central or South Carolina State? Because a lot of those players from South Carolina State are done.
I'm saying it's going to be Central because Central, if they bring him back, Walker Harris, which I believe he's planning to come back. Way too early prediction. Way too early prediction, Lennon. I wonder what the odds on. What kind of odds would you put on that, Drew? I got a number that just popped into my head. What kind of odds would you put on that?
Man, I'm not even trying to call that one.
I would say plus 1,300 for that to happen, Lennon. Plus 1,300. That's how far left I think that would happen. I think you're talking about a Norfolk State team that would be lucky to even be preseason ranked top 3, which I don't think they will be. And Jackson State will be preseason number 1, but Jackson State will have to go on the road. They have to go to Tallahassee. Where else do they have to go? Did they play? Where did the Alabama State game occur?
Alabama State travels to FAMU, and they travel
to Jackson.
Jackson comes to them next year.
Also, Jackson State has to go to Alabama State and to FAMU next year.
I think that's correct.
No, Alabama State plays in Jackson.
Okay.
Co-pilot said this was Irv's final year. Woo! Yeah. Thank God.
I know.
I'm sure you'll tell me there's somebody else in the room that's going to be just as dynamic. So
I know FAM goes to Southern, but Jackson and Bama State come to Tallahassee.
Right, and no South Carolina State next year.
No.
All right. Favorable schedule for FAMU. Just saying. Of course, Jackson State will be even stronger next year. Of course they will. Of course. Hampton plays at Jackson to open the season. That'll be interesting. Yes, John Horse. Yes. So our Virginia Union Panthers are what we call them the non-Division I champions, but many polls will rank them as mid-major national champions, like Dr. Cavill's poll. Yes, Virginia Union, the undisputed HBCU mid-major / non-Division I national champions. Haven't seen a poll that'll say otherwise. And Jackson State, undisputed HBCU national champions, without a doubt. So there you go. That game is at Hampton. Battle of the Bay is at Hampton. Man, that place is going to be swole. Only 12,000 can fit in that place. 13,000. That's going to be a tough ticket. I was hoping it would be at Norfolk State.
That's when you double the price of the tickets.
Oh, of course. Double the hell out of that. Yes, Tim Boyd, these were the computer rankings. Final computer rankings of the season.
Brian, you're way too early top 5.
Ooh, way too early top 5. All right. Jackson State won. Damn. The hard part is because I'm first off, I start with quarterbacks who are coming back. I'll go Central 2. They got a quarterback coming back. I'm going to say Southern 3. Southern 3. This is tough, Drew. Because your top quarterbacks, FAMU's losing a quarterback, South Carolina State's losing a quarterback. Who else? We don't know what the quarterback's going to look like at Morgan. We don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like at Alabama State. because I think you don't. Yeah, I have. So far, I can give you three. I can say Jackson State 1. I could say Central 2, Southern 3. I think everything else is in flux because you don't know what quarterbacks. I think where the UAPB quarterback,
where he winds up.
Yeah. Does Tennessee State have a returning? I'm not Tennessee. That's Texas Southern.
Is that Texas Southern or is that Tennessee State that he's talking about? But let me give you mine, Brian.
Please go ahead.
Obviously, I'm gonna start with Jackson State 1. I'm gonna go Tennessee State 2, Central 3.
But don't you have to? You're giving you. Wait a minute. You said Tennessee State 2?
Yes.
You don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Draylon Ellis is. I think he's out of eligibility. I don't think he has any more years left.
Brian, this is my top 5.
Okay, I'm sorry. Be quiet. Sound like Jay Walker. It's my top 5.
Alcorn 4, Southern 5.
You put Alcorn over Southern?
Yes.
Oh, you're right. You can have your top 5. Jeez. I mean, if that's the case, I'm gonna just throw for the hell of it. I'm gonna say FAMU 4.
Well, Alcorn's already got another quarterback coming in who's supposed to be a stud. So
you got a quarterback coming in, and I don't know. I can give you 3. I gave you 3. That's about the 3 that I feel most confident about are the 3 that I just said: Jackson State, North Carolina Central, and
Southern.
Everybody else's quarterback situation is fluid and boo-boo. So it's
Brian, that's why this is way too early.
Way too early, right? Way too early. Way too early. The last thing that I would like to mention, Drew, as we get out of here, the Black College Football Hall of Fame announcement came out earlier this week. The class of 2025, which consists of, and props to Dr. Cavill, who mentioned Coach Fred Pop Long, who was one of the inductees of Wiley College, and the relationship with his family and the Ben Cavill Award. I think he said what? Ben Cavill was coached by Fred Pop Long of Wiley. You also had Henry Dyer of Grambling State. More modern names that we are familiar with, you and me, generationally. Rashawn Mathis of Bethune-Cookman also played, I believe, with the Jaguars. Dominic Rogers-Cromartie of Tennessee State. I believe, where did Rogers-Cromartie play as well? He played in the NFL for a few years.
Did he play with the Cardinals? A stint?
I don't know about the Cardinals. I think he. That's a good question. I think that's a good question. I don't know if he was in the Cardinals or not. Somebody look that up. Tell me, where did Dominique Rogers-Cromartie? I know he played with a couple teams in the NFL. Jay Skywalker, Howard quarterback. That was we remember those years.
He put a couple L's on us at
Yeah, he did. And then, of course, one of the greatest wide receivers in HBCU football, not named Jerry Rice, Jaquay Nunnally of Florida A&M University, one of the Rack boys.
I thought he played with the Cardinals
and the Giants. Okay,
yeah.
So that's the list. Henry Dyer, Coach Fred Pop Long, Rashawn Mathis, Jaquay Nunnally, Dominic Rogers-Cromartie, Jay Skywalker. There's 6 inductees from a group of 28 finalists. Again, this is just the 16th year of the Hall of Fame. The ceremony will be June 7th, 2025 in Atlanta, Georgia. This group will also be recognized at the All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl on February 22nd, 2025 at Yeoman Stadium in New Orleans, which will be broadcast live on NFL Network at 3 o'clock Central Time. So great information here. Dyer, in case you didn't know who Henry Dyer was, he was Grambling State's first 1,000-yard rusher. He played from 1963 to 65. He led the nation in scoring with 110 points. Rashawn Mathis was a 3-time All-MEAC first-team guy. He was the 2002 MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. He holds FCS records for the most interceptions in a career, 31, and a season, 14. He was drafted in the second round by the Jaguars. Jaquay Nunnally, 3-time Division I All-American, second all-time in the NCAA Division I FCS record books for career receptions, and 42,380 or 4,239 yards and 38 touchdowns. He was a 4-time MEAC All-American or first-team guy. He was Black College Football Player of the Year in 1998 and 2000. Dominic Rogers-Cromartie, 3-time first-team All-OVC, FCS All-American in 2007. He was a first-round draft pick of the Cardinals in 2008. In 39 starts for Tennessee State, opposing quarterbacks completed just 55 of 161 passes. That's 34% thrown near him. Jay Skywalker, a 2-time first-team All-MEAC guy, Offensive Player of the Year in 93, led the Bison to an undefeated season en route to winning the MEAC and the Black College title. He was drafted in the 7th round by New England in 94. In 93, he passed for 3,324 yards, which was ranked second for single season, the second highest single season total in MEAC history. I think a quarterback from FAMU might be number 1. Anyway, Fred Pop Long led Wiley to SWAC titles. Again, those who didn't know, little history lesson, Wiley College, part of the SWAC.
Weren't they original SWAC member?
I believe so. Yeah. Listen to these SWAC titles. Look at the span of this, Drew. 1923, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 44, 45, 56, and 57. Do the math. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 decades in which he won a SWAC title. Black College National Champs in 28, 32, and 45.
Wasn't he on your list of people when you did your article a few years ago? Or was he on the other?
I think he might have been on the other. I don't think he was.
We need to do an update to that.
Really? I wonder what you think so?
Yeah. Because there were a lot of people who you didn't have on that list that were that next tier. I think we need to talk about the next tier.
Okay, I'd be up for that. Yeah, I gotta look. Doc helped me with that. I wonder was Pop Long on that list or not?
Yeah,
but that's the list. That's a hell of a list. And again, I saw EA ask coaches. I mean, look, it's so hard to talk about snubs. I know the thought about Rudy Hubbard. And look, I mean, again, if I'm comparing resumes,
Pop Long
did.
Before Rudy Hubbard.
I just read the resumes. I mean, look, he won. I didn't do the math, but he won SWAC titles in 4 different decades, 3 national titles. And Coach Rudy Hubbard will get in. He'll be there. But again, it's hard to compare. I think what happens sometimes, people look at there's a lot of names. Remember, this is only the 16th year of the Black College Football Hall of Fame. The NCAA, the MEAC, the SWAC, they've been doing their Hall of Fames for much, much longer period of time. So there's not a backlog of names. There are still a lot of great names that haven't gotten a call yet, because again, 16 years, they only put 6 or 7 in each year, which is what should happen. I don't disagree with that. So, patience, people, patience. I mean, hopefully our legends still are alive when their name gets called. I know that may be part of it, but.
Yeah. And, people have to submit the information. There has to be somebody who's actually willing to take the time to submit the information. Because if you wait on them to do the research, it won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great summary of stuff. It's funny. When we talked about this on the show Wednesday, obviously from the Jaquay Nunley perspective, the ONG strikes on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. No more live shows this year, by the way. But when we talked about it from that perspective, I didn't even go and look at all of this because I know FAMU had a bunch of stuff already, and I knew a bunch of the stuff already. But just looking at the stuff here, I mean, reading all this, this is impressive, man. This is a heck of a group. And so those of you who have children, I know, I think of Doc's son. I know Doc shares this kind of stuff with his son. But I don't know if what would be cool if Black college football had trading cards of their inductees. That would be an awesome keepsake. Even if they just did the first decade, the first 10 inductee classes, and then when they get to the next 10, do a published trading cards for those. Just something that would, because that's how young people, I grew up on trading cards, right? And that's how I learned about my history of sports figures is off. And I bet a lot of young people, a lot of us who love football, I would buy a pack and I would give them to kids. I really would. I would honestly buy a pack and just give them to kids and say, hey man, here's some football history. Soak this information up. You never know when you might come across it again and be able to tell somebody about it later. Just a thought.
There's a question for you, Bryan.
Great stat. So there's we talked about this on the show. There's about 5 or 6 guys that make up the quote unquote original Rat Boys. Nunnally, and I know EA's in the chat. Help me out on this, EA. I know Kanan Lamb was probably the number 2 statistical guy, a part of that group. And I think he was either a year behind Nunnally or that's what's made that group so special. From Robert Wilson, which was the mid 90s, to the end of the Jaquay years, which was 2000. So that 5 or 6 year span, all of those guys, they played either 2, 3, or 4 seasons together. And I think Kanan Lamb might have come in the same time as Jaquay. Kanan Lamb is the only one I think that has statistical numbers like that one year, the 2 years in which Jaquay was the Black College Football Player of the Year, 98, 99. That's because 99, I think Kanan Lamb had better statistical numbers. Like he might have broke 1,000 yards that year, but yeah, I think Lamb is the only one to really have big numbers. But again, this was an offense that was putting up points. So we had multiple guys who were scoring more than 10 touchdowns in a season, probably 4 guys that were scoring more than 5 touchdowns in a season. So, yeah, I told somebody it was a conversation that came up when they do the FAMU Sports Hall of Fame. They're thinking about adding teams, having a team category. I suggested that it's time to do, I think the Rat Boys from the 95 to 2000 era, that needs to be a team. That needs to be a collective of guys that change change the landscape of FAMU athletics and football. That was a team. I know normally you think of individual seasons, but no, that group, because they became known for what they did after they caught the ball, run after the catch. That's where the name came from. So I think that is that's a group that deserves to go in. But yeah, So
let me get to this one. Coach Green, I will not be in Atlanta when you guys come and play Clark Atlanta, because that weekend that you guys come and play is the weekend of the HBCU NBA All-Star Classic. And with that, I will be in Oakland. And speaking of the HBCU NBA All-Star Classic, first of all, if you're in the Oakland, California, San Francisco, California area, I want to see you there. I don't care if you're a Morehouse grad or a Tuskegee grad or not. Still come out, support your HBCUs, but go on to the Morehouse website, morehouseathletics.com. Click on the splash page at the beginning of the website, and it'll have all the information that you need about the HBCU NBA.
How much are tickets? How much are tickets, Drew?
If you click on morehouseathletics.com, I have a discount code on there that will give you 50% off of a ticket. And right now, we've got some information. There are hotels available out there for that event that are still reasonably priced. And when I say reasonably priced, $149 to $199 a night, not too far from the Oakland Arena. So all you have to do is get there.
I wonder, and I'm thinking out loud here, so bear with me. What if we found a way to promote that and donated those tickets to kids in that Oakland, California area? I mean, obviously, a lot of us can't go, or maybe not be able to go. Like right now, I don't think I'm going to be able to go. But I wouldn't be opposed to purchasing like 2 tickets. And if we could connect with somebody on the West Coast, like maybe a Boys and Girls Club out in Oakland or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And be able to donate those tickets so that those kids and that, or maybe a family, or could go to the game. How does that? I'm just spitballing ideas here. We can talk offline.
No, you good. I'm trying to.
What do you guys think in the chat room? You guys like that idea? I mean, again, I don't know how much tickets are, but if Drew's talking about he got a code, I mean, hell, we need to jump on that before the code.
Right, Brian. Right now, and I'm on the website. They have tickets as little as $25, and then that does not include the discount code that I have.
Oh, damn! I mean, yeah. We got to do something. I feel like I would love to be able to partner up. I would love to be able to partner up with like the Boys and Girls Club.
Brian, I could start the conversations to make that happen.
Let's start the conversation.
If the Black College Sports Network or the fans of the Black College Sports Network want to do that, I can, because I'm on a call with these folks once a week, so I can begin that conversation if they're looking for a sponsorship.
Yeah. I would love to. I mean, since we have the tie-in between you and I know we've done a lot of work with Tuskegee and Morehouse. I would love for us to, like I said, I would love to be able to get on a flight and go to California for the All-Star weekend. Just unless I hit this Mega Mill jackpot on Tuesday, I don't think I'm gonna be able to go. But
Roy, you don't need to find out. You just need to connect with me.
There you go. We got the guy right here, boss. We got the guy right here, the person we need to connect with. But yeah, them boys, thank you, man. I hopefully those of you who are listening to us, whether you're listening to us live or maybe you pick up the show later, if you like that idea, be looking out for that. Maybe this is a way in which we can support this game, and really make sure it gets well attended. Like if we could spur this and do a drive and really kind of connect with the Boys and Girls program or some program. I just happen to mention the Boys and Girls Club, so I'm not like tied to them or anything. I just happen to mention.
Matter of fact, man, I'll just take us point of special privilege there, Brian.
What you got?
I was just
You got something? What you got?
If you go to the Morehouse Athletic website, this is what you're going to see, and it has all the information for the HBCU NBA Classic. So if you want to find out more information about it, if you're interested in it, if you want your ticket codes, or I got to go to the other page, and if you want to click in, I'm sorry. Oops, it wasn't supposed to go there. Maybe they pull it back up so I can get you to the right spot where the information is at.
Good stuff. Working things out, making things happen on the fly here. That's what we do here on the Black College Sports Network and the SportsWrap. Coming up here, final moments of the show here. Dallas is up 10 on Tampa Bay. What the hell? Tampa, what are y'all doing? Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, here you go. All the information that you need is right here, Brian.
Looks like that's the basketball page. So you got to go from the main page?
Well, actually, the main page was supposed to click onto it, but for some reason that link just decided to break because it worked all day yesterday. So I don't know why.
Put that link in the chat. Put that link in the chat because we turned on the live chat replay, so that way if people see this and they're watching it, later, they're gonna be able to come.
It has all the information about that, and if you go to plan your visit, actually has hotel information.
Man, look at that. Damn. I wonder. Ooh, be nice to be able to take a trip to Cali.
Matter of fact, good trip for lovers. That's Valentine's weekend.
Ooh, I need to find me a Valentine.
Yes.
Any ladies? Any Valentines? Anybody need a Valentine?
Treat your men to the All-Star weekend and catch some HBCU ball.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'm already offered my services as a +1 for the holidays. Anybody need a +1 for the holiday week? I'm free 2 weeks. Well, not completely free, but I'm available.
Brian, one piece of advice?
No.
Okay. If you know, you know. I'm still gonna put it out there, Brian. There's a simple rule, Brian. No new relationships between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day.
You know what? That might be why I'm not getting a particular phone call reply from somebody I've been talking to. That might be why.
No new relationships between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's savage. Okay. All right.
If you know, you know.
All right. Exactly.
Man, let's pick up the show and get out of here, man.
All right, we're gonna pick up the show and get out of here. I'm gonna put a pin on it.
Hold on. One last thing. For those interested in tickets, this is the ticket site also. So
general admission, $25. Okay.
Exactly. But if you once again, if you click on that Morehouse website, and I need to make sure y'all click on that Morehouse website first, that y'all use the discount code that's on the website to get 50% off.
There you go. All right. And if you know of any, we're going to try to work on our end, but if you have any connections with any youth groups, I know we have a lot of
Oakland, San Francisco.
Some of you are definitely in some fraternities, maybe even some sororities. If you got some brothers and sisters that are out there on the West Coast, we'd love to figure out a way how to connect in and maybe do some sponsorship stuff and see if we can get our listeners over here in the Southeast on the East Coast purchasing a ticket or two. Got an opportunity at discount. Purchase tickets and be able to transfer those tickets to some people on the West Coast who are closer to that event and can go. Okay. Final question from Adam Spencer. There is no latest. It's just hot rumors right now, Adam. That's the latest. The latest is that
hot rumors, hot mess.
Hot rumors, hot mess. North Carolina A&T may be looking at going back to the MEAC. The question is, who is the other school? That's what everybody seems to want to know. Who else might be going as well with them? I think it's all unknown at this point. So, but again, Drew says, pay attention to what happens by June 30th. June 30th is kind of the date where people have to sort of make their intentions known for the future. So, you know, you guys just keep your ear to the ground. We'll report. Next week, I'm 50-50 on that, Adam, as to whether it's them or not. 50-50. I can't say. Next week, I do want to bring up the topic, Drew, that I saw a report. I posted it. I tweeted it out. That something that Ashley Robinson at Jackson State is doing.
Oh, I love it.
I do too. And it's interesting. I actually was giving it some praise, but interesting comments by some people that, oh, that's nothing new. And I was like, really? I'm like, who's doing it now? I'm like, who's doing that? Who's earmarking money for not only the band, but NIL? So we'll do some research and kind of see who else is kind of doing what Ashley Robinson and Jackson State is doing or planning to do, because I think it's a great synergy from a university and athletic department. So we'll talk more about that next Sunday. We will do one final show next week, Lord willing. Drew, I'll be in South Dakota next week, so that'll be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, do we want to skip and wait till the new year?
Let's
We'll discuss it offline.
We'll discuss it offline. But be on the lookout for the BCSN Pod Zone. Everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can catch all of the shows on the Black College Sports Network. You can go back and check out Carlos Brown's show from yesterday, Saturday. Coach Terrence Graves joined the show. Great interview, great conversation, pretty lengthy, but good stuff as always. So you can go back and watch that or listen to it. Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Google, Apple Podcasts. I don't think Google Podcasts is still around, but Apple Podcasts is. Go check out the show. And that's it. So congratulations to our Black College Football National Champions, Virginia Union Panthers, and Dr. Alvin Parker, and Jackson State University Coach T.C. Taylor. Congratulations on being recognized as BCSN Division I and non-Division I national champions. That's going to do it for A.D. Drew. I'm Brian Fulford. One final point, Drew.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy holidays. And Happy New Year if I don't talk to you again next week.
Peace out, everybody. Have a blessed holiday, and we will see you later. Thanks for watching the show. Hit the thumbs up and the like button, please, as you exit the building. Good night now.
Travel light.